You are listening to the Athena Podcast with Lilia. Hello and welcome to the Athena Podcast. Finally I am recording this podcast. وعلاش أنا نهضر هكذا؟ So to be honest, this podcast كان لازم يخرج, or the idea first came to my mind août 2019. Yes, so in August 2019 I had the idea of starting a podcast. At that time I think ما كانوش كاينين بزاف لي بودكاست في الجزائر. Actually ما كنتش أنا نعرف بزاف لي بودكاست في الجزائر or podcasters. And I was like, why not? Because I was listening to some podcasts and الكونتنيو اللي كان عندهم ما عندناش حنا في الجزائر. And I was thinking maybe if I try to share, even though I'm sharing شوية in English, شوية in French, شوية in Arabic, على بالي بلي كاين people في our societies في our society اللي يقدروا يفهموا, or they can even though they are improving, they're trying to improve their languages, it can help them. So I was like, okay, go for it. And at a certain point, and I wish my field, la profession تاعي دوكا, c'est formatrice en développement personnel. And I wanted to make something about my field. So wish درت is that I kind of started working on content. وخبيته. Okay, how dumb. Now that I say this, like I feel so dumb. But وعلاش actually je me suis pas lancée en août 2019 is that I was experiencing something, and باش فهمت وشنو هو البروبليم تاعي, like I had to wait all this time and try to know myself enough all this time in order for me to find out وشنو هو المشكل. And let's go back to when I first started personal improvement. أنا بديت le développement personnel, la psychologie positive and stuff maybe début 2018. Yeah. And أنا كي بديت for myself, like I discovered this and I was making researches, كنت نحوس على answers to my own personal questions which I found. And after a whole process اللي أنا جست عليه during a year, j'ai constaté des changements. And so I was like, I have to share this, I have to do something about it, I have to help people the way those videos and books helped me. So I took the decision to become a coach, personal improvement coach, ou la formatrice, ou la call it as you like. And وش درت obviously c'est que رحت حوست على trainings, لقيت des formations هنا. Of course كاين people اللي تلقاهم not the best, because they kind of made a business out of it, and only a business, because it's not bad to make a business out of it, because c'est une profession comme les autres à la base. And others who are very competent, and I could find what I was looking for معهم. And so بديت training after training, certification after certification. I was very happy with everything I was learning. لحقت لأن point when let's say لقيت بلي وليت un petit peu accro à la formation. Because I was collecting certifications, وقع international certifications. I was very happy with that, and I was feeling more competent because I had certifications, which was completely false. parce que la compétence تاعي اصلا بدات من 2018 كي كنت انا وحدي. I was making my own researches based on free resources on internet, which means ما كنتش نخلص. كنت نلقى دي فيديو sur YouTube. c'est vrai que ناقصين ما يمدولكش كاع les informations. c'est vrai que même dans les livres اللي نشروهم des fois il y a des trucs اللي ناقصين, des fois il y a des processus اللي ماشي مفهومين. autant que لو كان دير a training and you're like discussing this with someone from a trainer, and I was like, معليش, I need to learn more. I need to have, more certifications in order to be the best coach, the best trainer. بصح لحقت un moment when même had podcast, and even, j'ai organisé des formations et j'ai, let's say, I started working with everything I had. بصح it wasn't enough for me. أنا كنت حابة, I wanted to share this on social media. Though I was, giving free resources, بصح it was something I was willing to do. And ما قدرتش. علاه. Because قعدت stuck in that mindset of لازم I learn more to feel like I belong باش ما نحسش روحي خداعة. And وعلاش نحس روحي خداعة؟ قاع أصلاً. علاش نحس روحي خداعة alors que أنا I based on my personal experiences أصلاً, and based on all the trainings I've been in and everything I was learning during these 2 past years. علاش ما نقدرش I share it with the world. وعلاش I feel like I have a lack. The conclusion at the end was that I was experiencing the imposter syndrome, le syndrome de l'imposteur. So, first of all, I'm going to give you the definition of this syndrome. So, in English, they say it is a psychological pattern in which one doubts one's accomplishment and has a persistent, internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. And in French, en français, c'est la sensation de tromper son entourage. Le sujet concerné estime que s'il réussit, ce n'est jamais grâce à lui ou à ses capacités, mais par chance, malentendu ou hasard. And now, personnellement, what I think about it, it's just people, they believe they don't deserve the position or the gifts, the opportunities they have في الدنيا. ويحسوا روحهم therefore خداعين. So the truth is, قاع à un certain moment في حياتنا رانا رايحين نحسوا روحنا خدعنا maybe what we are living, whatever it is, maybe الخدمة or maybe even though un examen tu as une bonne note فيه وانت ما قريتش, des fois تحس روحك un imposteur because you don't deserve it. ما تستاهلش لو اللي اديتها, right? So it's just like a little example that I'm giving. Now نشوفوا other reasons why people may feel like imposters. The first reason, c'est la comparaison. It's comparing yourself to other people. And here, once you jump into comparing yourself to other people, راح تطيح في un cercle vicieux, and it's very hard to get out of it. Why do we feel the need to compare ourselves? Sometimes we have lacks, and the lacks اللي عندنا حنايا, we try to project, we create a perfect image of what we would like to have. And malheureusement, كاين ناس, especially on social media, who actually, يخدموا an image of themselves which is very perfect, which is well elaborated, مخدومة tout simplement, مخدومة مليح هذيك l'image تاعهم اللي هما على بالهم كيفاش وقتاش على قداش يبرزنتيوها للناس. I mean, even ما يشهد على a picture, صح, even a picture on Instagram, people work on it for hours وعلى بالهم على قداش راهم رايحين يحطوها on internet, and it's too elaborated, and what you're going to do is you are going to compare l'image تاعك انت that is not as perfect, that you know everything about, to that, and it is perfectly unfair. Ce n'est pas juste de comparer the shit you know about yourself, les problèmes تاعك, tout ce qui te dérange chez toi, tu le compares avec tout ce que les gens te font croire qu'ils ont. And let me explain this again. ما تقدرش and كما قلت لكم ce n'est pas juste اصلا ماشي من حقك تكومباري toute la merde اللي عندك انت كاع لي تروماتيزم اللي جست عليهم المشاكل اللي عندك في حياتك بحاجه you know nothing about at this point. And every time you compare what you have with what you don't have, what you have becomes less. كل مرة تكومباري روحك وش عندك انت وش ما عندكش وش عندك راهو رايح يبان لك قليل. That's it. And of course tu vas avoir un gros coup de blues and your vibration is gonna go very low. And yeah, this is how you start diving into that circle. Now the problem is we know so much about ourselves. نعرفوا روحنا tellement bien وما نعرفوش الناس اللي دارين بينا tellement bien que à la base نلقاو روحنا on est en train de nous comparer à l'inconnu. We compare ourselves to the unknown. ما على بالناش واش رانا نكومباريو روحنا به because we don't know the other. We don't know the other's insecurities, problems, shit, internal shit. We know nothing about other people. We only know what they choose to let us know about them. So how can you even compare yourself to shit you know nothing about? I mean, how ridiculous it is. And from comparing yourself, des fois تحس روحك انت قليل, which is going to make you feel like an imposter all the time, because you always need to work harder and you never trust your own abilities. And هذا وش it's gonna get us to the second point, which is people who are gifted, hardworking people, هما تاني the second people اللي يحسوا روحهم imposters the most. وعلاش? Because well, you are gifted, you are very skilled, you are competent, you are a hardworking person. So that is your problem, sweetheart. Every time you want more, you want to work harder, you are going to feel lack. You are going to feel unsatisfied with what you achieved. تحس روحك jamais راك رايح تلحق because you want everything to be great. And لازم every time you actually work, you feel like there is more work to be done, there is better things to get, and until تلحق لهذاك better اللي راك تحوس عليه, you're gonna find yourself doing nothing at all. And this gets us to the third point. The third point is perfectionism. Donc, les gens qui sont des perfectionnistes, they want everything to be well done, clear, perfect, blah blah blah. So how ridiculous it is. Because if you always seek for perfection, which is يعني ماشي impossible, let's say, you will end up never achieving what you want because you always wait for it to be perfect and it takes a long time, and at the end you do absolutely nothing again. Now, the fourth point is people who don't believe in themselves. And people who don't believe in themselves, their capacities, les compétences ديالهم and everything, هادوك ils ont un sérieux problème de confiance en eux. A big problem يعني of lack of self-confidence, of self-esteem. And يعني there is a podcast about only dedicated to self-esteem and another only dedicated to self-confidence because they are very different. صح كامل, lack of self-esteem, of self-confidence, of not believing in yourself, in your capacities, in your competences, قاعد يجون بلاصة واحدة. And it is fear. It's because you are afraid of something. You know, I was كنت نقرأ كتاب فراني نعاود نقرأ في واحد الكتاب. I told you about it, I guess. It is Conversations with God. The first book, parce que كاين 4 books بصح the first one is the best. It's a masterpiece and I read it in 2018, yeah. أني نعاود نقرأ فيه and I realized that I missed something back then, which is you know, they talk about how the universe has been created from the point of view of energy, and it kind of, they say kind of that when God created Earth, the universe, what happened is he put 2 very important emotions first, and the first one was love, the second one was fear. And you know, everything that is good, that is even great in life, always comes from a place of love. On the other hand, everything that is bad, hatred, and you know, every let's say negative emotion comes from a place of fear. Not because you are a bad person, ماشي parce que انت انسان ماشي مليح. إلا كان عندك beaucoup d'émotions négatives, be 100% sure that it is because you fear something. راك خايف من حاجة، كاين حاجة راهي مخوفاتك, and that is why, as let's say a defense mechanism pour te défendre, you are going to, you know, show people negative emotions, which is bad. Now it's the same thing. بصح في هاد this specific point, when we say that your lack of self-confidence comes from fear, it is because there's a baby crying. Sorry for this. It's because you fear failure. Okay? So الناس en général اللي عندهم un problème de self-esteem ou self-confidence, ما عندهمش confiance en eux, c'est parce que يخافوا من حاجة. And هاد الحاجة يعني it can be the first one can be يخافوا من failure. Okay? So تخاف ما تنجحش, and I don't know, maybe people will make fun of you. يعني we are all very different, and كل واحد فينا واش يخاف. And كاين بزاف ناس اللي يخافوا people make fun of them. ولا I don't know, you know, you fear something, maybe تخاف تخسر, تخاف you take some risks, and then you can't, you know, you can't go back, which is which is a problem in real life, especially when you have responsibilities. بصح the second thing, it's rare بصح it does exist. كاين ناس اللي يخافوا من روحهم and يخافوا من their own success. وعلاش؟ because على بالهم à quel point ils sont compétents, على بالهم à quel point they are great, and they can visualize, يقدروا يشوفوا la vision هذيك تاع هما successful, and for them يبان لهم it's a heavy thing to carry on their shoulders. يبان لهم بزاف, it's too much, and it can give stress and anxiety to think about how great you can be in the future if you do this and this and that. And so from that fear, because you feel not ready yet, you're like, I'm not doing this because I'm not ready to do that. So when the hell are you gonna be ready? Never. If you continue doing this. And the thing is, people who are stuck in the situation of this imposter syndrome en général ما يفيقوش لروحهم. كيما قلت لكم أنا وحدة, I made a lot of researches, and it took me like a whole year to find out وعلاش I was pushing things away. And at the end I realized, you know, الناس اللي they are stuck, قلت لكم في هاد the imposter syndrome problem, ما يفيقوش لروحهم, but the real imposters do exist. ils existent vraiment. الخداعين تاع الصح اللي تلقاهم maybe في certain positions at work ولا even on social media ولا I don't know, everywhere in life, in every aspect of life تلقاهم خداعين. They don't deserve what they have. C'est des comédiens en gros, and they have no capacity, no competence. They make zero efforts to improve themselves, and you know هما they have all the confidence, all the self-esteem in the world, while you, who is really competent, who is really someone who can make a change, is sitting in the corner doubting yourself. Now it's normal, tu doutes de tes capacités mindak. We all, you know, have this certain moment where we doubt ourselves. It's perfectly human. So you have to overcome it if you want change to occur. Now, the problem تانيت with imposters, the real imposters, الخداعين تاع الصح, is that they are very dangerous. You know, I have a quote, I'm gonna look on my phone, by, I think, Lisa Nichols. I love that woman. She's everything. And she said, I found it. She said, people who aren't who they claim to be are very dangerous, and it would be wise to remember that. Now, it depends what kind of dangerous she meant. It depends on the people. بصح en général الناس اللي يكذبوا على لا بوزيشن تاعهم في الدنيا هذه get the hell out of their lives, get away, run. ما تقعدوش مع هاد الناس, because if they do lie about who they truly are to you, يعني it's obvious they are gonna look fake as hell. You don't know what they are capable of. And honestly, if you doubt yourself, هذه نزيدها لكم من عندي bonus. If you doubt yourself and your abilities, and you know you are chosen in a particular position in your life, هذيك البوزيشن يعني it is important, وتحس روحك ما راكش في بلاستيك, you don't belong and you are less than that certain position. Remember this. I mean, if you are in a certain position in life, things, the truth is you deserve it. حبيت ولا كرهت. Because if God made it possible for you to be there, it's because there is a reason. You know, some people, they came to this world because they carry a message. And though they are not the smartest, the best, you know, the most competent, they have that, you know, single thing that is different from their neighbors and friends and everyone else. They are chosen, and if they are chosen to do that particular thing in that particular place, then there is a reason and no one else can. So, if you are in a certain position in life, and you know, you feel like an imposter, sweetheart, you are not an imposter. You are simply blessed. Okay? Now, how to overcome the imposter syndrome feeling? I actually, I'm gonna give you the points they helped me improve myself in order to overcome all of that imposter syndrome mindset. And I reprogrammed my mind to think that I am very competent. How? And I am very worthy, first of all. How? Okay, so first of all, if I have one advice to give you, it's to invest your time and your effort in yourself. Why did I say time and effort and not money? Of course, you can invest your money on yourself, and that money will return always to you because it is meant to. So your time and effort are priceless, honestly. And every time you put more time and more effort in improving yourself in any way, in any field, in any aspect of life, you're gonna feel more confident. You're gonna feel more self-esteem, you're going to feel more worthy because you know how much time, how much effort راك دايرو على روحك. And this is, let's say we're gonna because the second point I made possible, says let's say the same thing as the first in another way. Okay, so the second one is to find out what are your lacks and work on them. Okay, we are not perfect, we have lacks, عندنا certains points اللي on n'est pas على بالنا deep inside بلي راهم خاصيننا certains trucs. And so if you feel like there is something you lack, instead, sweetheart, of watching Netflix every night before going to bed, watch documentary on that specific thing اللي راك حاسة روحك راك خاص information فيه. Do some researches, read books. There are free resources on internet. There are podcasts that are great, even greater than trainings. I told you this. أنا وحدة كي كنت I started personal improvement, لقيت des ressources sur internet, and once I attend the trainings they were the same. And like you can train yourself at home in a free way, and it will help your self-esteem and self-confidence. Now you're gonna ask me how it's gonna help my self-esteem and self-confidence. Imagine you have a presentation, okay? And you go to that presentation وانت ماشي موجد روحك. Tu n'as pas fait de recherche, ما حوست, ما قريتش, and then you go there and you feel like an imposter. First of all, you're gonna feel like an imposter because you are an imposter. Tu n'as pas fait d'effort. And second of all, you are gonna shake because you know nothing about what you are supposed to present. And you're gonna feel low self-esteem, low self-confidence, because actually ما عندكش حاجة اللي tu as confiance en elle. ما عندكش material, ما عندك حتى حاجة تبريزنتيها اللي tu as confiance فيها. And so you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna be an imposter, a real imposter with low self-esteem. Like, just imagine. Oh my god. And at this point هنايا نستنتجوا أن الكفاءة كل ما تكون عندك كفاءة أكتر راح تكون عندك confiance en toi, ثقة في النفس تاعك عالية أكتر. And it is as simple as that, because competence brings confidence. I mean, you have always to let your bottle full. لازم toujours القرعة تاعك تكون معمرة. I mean, because you don't know وقتاش راك رايح لازم تفرغها or when. So every time be ready to pour your bottle and to have something inside. This is the weirdest example I came up with. So deal with it. I mean, at least I have examples. Now, the last one is to overcome fear. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna make a video another podcast where I talk only about fear. So let me tell you this. Some psychiatrists and psychologists after researches لقاو باللي le signal les fear يمدوا your brain مخك c'est le même signal تاع الحماس or excitement. So your brain perceives excitement and fear the same way. من هذا الشيء نقدر نستنتجوا أنك تقدر tu fais croire à ton cerveau بلي au lieu وش راك تحس c'est de la peur, eh ben non, c'est justement que tu es excité. هذا مكان. So if you trick your mind to feel excitement instead of fear, you will end up overcoming fear. Okay? It's a whole process. يعني فيه a little process of visualization, فيه a little process, it all happens step by step, in 3 steps actually. And usually, you know, people who are public speakers use this trick. Because justement, c'est pas parce que tu es a public speaker اللي ما تخافش تهدر ولا you don't feel afraid. Well, and it's perfectly normal actually. بصح there are some ways to trick your mind. There is always a way to trick your brain, because your brain, you can make it believe anything, and that's how we attract things. But yeah, we will talk about it again another day. صح, that's it. Now كما قلنا, everything you have to do must come from a place of love. If you do things because you want to serve others in the name of love, if you do things because you are convinced that it's going to help others, you are going to end up beating fear, بلا ما تفيق. And that's the crazy thing about it. Now, I think this was the last point, and in conclusion, I would say that everyone at a certain point is going to feel like an imposter. ماشي خطرة ماشي زوج في حياتك, in different aspects of your life, and you have to be mindful. لازم تولي ماشي mindful, you need to be aware. Awareness is the key. كي تفيق لروحك, quand tu as هذيك la prise de conscience, بليك you are feeling a certain way, you are experiencing a certain thing, you know exactly what to do to overcome it next, or you can find resources in order to overcome it. For example, this podcast. Et c'est pour ça أنا ندير فيه. That was everything. You know, normally I have an outro, بصح I didn't plan any outro, so for now I'm just gonna tell you peace, take care of yourselves, and I hope this podcast helped.